Welcome back to Fast Tracks Cars. I'm Kevin Matlow, and I've got Stuart here with an absolutely stunning example of a 1977 Bandit. Stuart, welcome to the show.
Thanks very much for having me.
Yeah, tell me a little bit about your car.
It's, as you said, it's a 77. It is a Trans Am. It's not a special edition, unfortunately. But it actually was restored back in 2000 from a company in Quebec who purchased it back on, another gentleman had purchased it from them, brought it out to Edmonton, and I've had it for 8 years.
Excellent.
So,
wonderful.
Yeah, it actually had pretty close to a full restoration on it. And I've done a lot of the interior and just continued to enjoy it.
Excellent. So it's a daily car?
No, I just bring it out for shows and just to have fun on Sundays.
Absolutely.
It gets a bit of attention otherwise.
Absolutely. Okay, so it's a 77.
Right.
What's special about this car that you wanted, what drew you to this specific car?
The color combination.
Yeah.
Ever since I was 7 and I saw Smoking the Bandit, that was it for me. That was the car I wanted. And I saw it, actually, I had an 81 for a lot of years, sold it due to other commitments, and then found this one online for a really good price several years ago, and that was it for me. It really comes down to that.
That's fantastic. I know when we're probably close to the same age, I had the same experience. Saw Smoking the Bandit, wanted the Bandit.
Right.
Yeah, I had an uncle who actually bought himself a Formula, a Firebird Formula. Remember him driving me around Calgary in it. Had a great time. He lit those tires up. It was awesome. And I was hooked as a car guy since then. Well, since before then, but that really solidified it for me. So Firebird's a fantastic car. It goes a long way in my history as well.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's a great car. It's the one thing about all the cars here, I can say that for myself. This car, just sitting behind the wheel for me and just enjoying that experience, that's really what it's about for me.
Absolutely.
I just love that whole nostalgic feel, but also I just love the car in general.
Yeah.
And it's a 77, which is the same year as the cars roughly that were in Smokey and the Bandit.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the nice thing about this one was it's actually not a black car. It's a very, very dark brown. And
surprising.
It's got a metal flake in it, which will change depending on where it sits. No, it's been an amazing ride.
Absolutely. So tell me a little bit about what you did to the car. Have you done anything to the engine or suspension, or is it all pretty well stock?
So pretty much. So the one thing that this car, when I purchased it, it actually didn't have a T-top.
Okay.
So I have a gentleman who's a really dear friend of mine. He's actually been a sheet metal guy for honestly decades, and I've been bugging him and trying to find out who could do it for me. And he actually said, "You want to do it? Let's do it." And I found the parts actually for an exceptionally good price many years ago, and they've been sitting on my garage. And when we did it, we actually just did it in April.
Oh, really?
So we actually did it in my garage. We actually took everything out in the interior, and including the headliner, seats, you name it, we pulled it all out.
Yep.
And I remember he put the saw, and we'd measured everything out. He put the saw up against the hood and said, "Are you sure?" And I just shut my eyes and went, "Okay, do it." And it actually turned out beautifully.
Yeah.
This car, as is, so 77 and 78, they had what they called a Fisher T-top.
Yep.
Sorry, excuse me, they had a Hurst T-top.
Okay. Yep.
And so Fisher came in shortly after that. And so what happens is you'll notice that the T-tops on these cars for Hurst are a lot shorter and thinner.
Right.
So if you ever see that, you go, "Is that right?" For the year, absolutely is. So it's just like the movie, Smoking the Bandit 1. It is this T-top for this era. So late 78, 79, 80, and 81, they actually went to Fisher, which is what you will see on...
With the narrower pillar in the middle.
Yes, exactly. So we were thrilled and there's several companies out there that make all of the aftermarket moldings and parts and some of those pieces, so I was able to get a lot of that, and it turned out really well.
Fantastic.
So the other thing I've done, and I can show you, Again, these cars are not. The special edition is the black and gold.
Yeah.
So I will never say that this is a tribute car. So ultimately, the actual inlay on the dash, you'll notice is gold, which is correct. This car was actually had a silver one.
Okay.
So what happens is there's a gentleman in the U.S. that actually resurfaces them and then paints them the color that you want. So I was able to track him down, and he actually did that.
That's fantastic.
So a lot of the stuff we've done is a lot of maintenance things. The engine in this is original. So I always like to say that this was the Hellcat of its era.
Yep.
And Hellcats are running up to 1,000 horse right now.
Yeah.
And this car was born with just around 200 horse.
Right.
So the engine, I'm going to be working on those pieces to help that out a little bit. But the engine in it is a rail. It's a 3-speed transmission, and which is an automatic. And a lot of the mechanics and those kind of things, as I said, is pretty much original. It's got 2-wheel disc on the front in regards to brakes and drums on the back. So this car doesn't have a lot of high-end technology, if you like.
Yeah.
But again, it runs great. It drives great off the line. It's really quick. Top end speed isn't there, but you know what? It's getting up there in age, and quite frankly, I'll just enjoy it for what it is.
The top end speed is really not what the car is about. It's about the nostalgia.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
I mean, it's doing what it needs to do, and that's fantastic.
Yeah. No, and honestly, it goes away. It hibernates over the winter. And I usually take care of a couple of minor or a couple of things that I can handle in regards to repairs. But ultimately, it's pretty much just as I said earlier, a Sunday car, or come out to shows and enjoy it. So, no, for the most part, it's just a ton of fun.
That's great.
A ton of fun.
That's what it's all about, right?
Absolutely.
That's what it's all about. Suspension-wise, is all pretty well stock?
Pretty much stock. The one thing I did do to this car was I put in subframe connectors underneath. So when we did cut the roof, you're going to lose some rigidity into the body. And so we'd actually had to kind of order them and put them in, which worked out really well. And a lot of the decals and all those kind of things that they ever needed repair was really, really good. I had had the car 3 weeks or a month in 2015, and then we had some mechanical issues, which I had it towed, and then the poor tow truck driver, and I don't blame him, but he had a bit of an accident with it where he dropped the actual dollies on the back end, and to find a place that can actually repaint it, and it was really tough because it was actually on the back driver's quarter panel. Oh, no. And so the one thing about cars of these eras is that the paint is complete. So there's no break in the seam going up through the back pillar and up on the roof and down to the other side. Right. So that was a bit of made me sick a little bit, but you know what? The company I dealt with did a great job.
That's great. That's fantastic. You can get that fixed. Exhaust system wise, did you do anything to that?
No, it's stock. So pretty much everything is stock, it sounds really good for what it does. Yeah. But again, it's pretty much what it is.
Good. Excellent. Interior, the finishing, the leather, it's all original?
Yes. Yeah. So the buckets, the back seats are original. The fronts are not. Still the same structure. Yeah. Again, a lot of aftermarket parts on the seats themselves, and had them recovered. Typically, the driver in any car gets worn down quite a bit, and so to make them match, we got the pair and got them sorted out. So
excellent.
That was really good.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for being on my channel. I do appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate your time. Thank you very much.